Your story is a superpower. And I know when I found my voice as my superpower, it was the most magical thing that not only transformed me, but also continues to transform my audience as well.
Welcome to Women's Thrive podcast. This is where you'll get to hear incredible stories of female entrepreneurs, business owners, women from all walks of life. Myself, Raimonda Jan, and my co-host Abigail will be interviewing incredible women, hearing inspiring stories of women from all around the world. I have no doubt that you will find something that will be life-changing for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us for our future episodes.
Hello, and welcome to Women Thrive podcast. I'm so excited to have you all here for another episode. My name is Raimonda Jan, and I will be your host for today's episode. Today, we're talking about your voice is your strategy and how to build your business around your story that really creates everlasting results and leaves an impact for your audience, as well as helps you build a legacy. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name is Raimonda Jan, and I'm the founder of Women Thrive Media. I'm here to support women to become more visible, create a personal brand, and really use their story and their voice to get onto more public stages, do public speaking, and empower others. In this episode, I want to break down some truths about our story. And I know a lot of people say, what's my story? I don't know what my story is, what my origin story is. I seem like I've never gone through the huge ups and downs, or maybe you have, but you've never actually publicly shared your story because you never wanted to use your story necessarily for business. But in this episode, I want to help you bridge that gap between your life experiences, your story, where you have come from, and how you can use that to really create meaningful connection to your audience. When I first started in business, that was, well, not the first time, but I guess when I started in the online business and I was kind of called to share my story more, I was like, I don't know what my story is. I mean, I come from Lithuania, so I was an immigrant when I came to the UK. Couldn't speak a word of English, and I went through all educational system and degrees. But I didn't feel like I've achieved enough at that stage to say, hey, I've gone from being absolutely broke to mega riches, right? So I didn't feel like I had a story. So I used to work with different coaches and mentors to figure out what my story is. And nothing ever really landed for me to say, yeah, that's truly so deep and meaningful within me that I want to build my business on. So it never really resonated with me until I actually started to own my truth. And this is where my program and also just kind of my mission and ethos comes from, which talks about being unapologetic. And I remember the first time I started working with a speaking coach who was Les Brown, and he said to me, Ray, you already host events. So at this point, I was already hosting events and doing women empowerment work and running a successful online community for women. And he said to me, Ray, why do you want to speak? And I turned around to Mr. Les Brown and I said, I want to speak because I know what it's like not to have a voice. And the whole room just, leaned forward. And he said, well, tell me more. And I don't know where that come from because I've never shared a story with anyone before this moment. And I said, I know what it's like to lose a voice. And I started to share my life experience when I went into a pretty toxic relationship that was back and forth. And I've gone through an episode in that relationship when we were breaking up. I felt like I was kind of abused and taken advantage of. And when I got back, so it was a long distance relationship, when I got back from that trip, I felt like I lost my identity, I lost my voice, I lost my confidence. And that lasted for a good 2 years. I was living in sort of guilt of what happened to me because I blamed myself. I lived in shame of what happened to me. So I didn't speak to anyone, didn't tell anyone what happened, and kind of fear of people finding out. So I couldn't really, when I was looking in the mirror, I couldn't really accept myself and I couldn't be happy. So I physically, well, I could speak, but emotionally, I couldn't bring myself to speak. And it was really tough period of my life, which I wanted to put behind me. I never wanted to share that story with anyone. And what happened was when this came to the surface in that moment when Les Brown said to me, "Why do you want to speak?" It's as if I, for the first time, faced my truth. And when you face your truth, when you're no longer afraid to share something that you felt like was holding you back, or it was a secret, or something that you were afraid or ashamed of, that's when you start to become unapologetic because you truly wholly own yourself and your truth. And for me, that was the turning point, I guess, in my mission because I always knew I was really ambitious and I was really driven. I wanted to support women and I wanted to see women more empowered, and I was living in my alignment and to my values. And I knew what my values were, but I didn't know why, where they have come from, really, because I've never asked myself that question. And when this story came to life, I realized that why I do what I do, why I feel so passionate about what I do, why I always want to put women on stages and support them and see them in the spotlight and be empowered and kind of fighting for their rights. That was a huge turning point. And once I adopted my story as part of my mission and I started to share it more with my community, I found other women who'd gone through similar experiences and they could resonate with my story. And they were saying to me, "I've gone through something similar," or "Now I see why you do what you do and I want to be part of that mission." So it had a whole turning point in my career, my business. Now everything I was doing had a meaning and purpose. So I'm sharing this with you because I want you to find your story that connects to your purpose and why you do what you do. Sometimes we do what we do and we never ask ourselves, why? Why does this matter to me? What have I gone through? What was my lowest point when I had to really face myself? Or what did I have to overcome in order to get here, right? And sometimes people hide behind a story. I've met so many women, especially when we do speaker interviews, and kind of women come to a call with me, an interview call for becoming a speaker, and they say to me, they kind of keep it really professional, really polished. They tell me all about their accomplishments, how amazing they are, how much credibility they have. And it's all great. And it's like, great, you tick all the boxes. But I don't stop there. Usually when I interview them, I was like, okay, let's keep going. Let's go a little bit deeper. I need to know what your story is, because for speakers, there's one thing about educating people. And then there's another thing about sharing your story that is personal, that is emotional, and at the same time, deeply connecting to your audience. Because anybody, and I promise you, anyone can get up on stage and share something that they know as far as educating people, but not everyone is able to get up on stage and share their story of what they had to overcome. Okay, so people think, oh, I have to keep it really professional, really polished. It can't possibly be part of my brand. And I'd argue that actually that's part of your story. That's the part where people want to know. That's the part where people will connect to your heart, to your business soul. And I want to go as far as saying people don't just buy the perfect brands. People buy from real people. And if they're going to buy from real people, they need to know and connect to your story, to your purpose, and create that bridge between your brand and why you do what you do and you, or the story behind it, right? We buy stories. And therefore, I believe that the most powerful brands that can influence people come from telling stories. And if you're not telling your story yet and you're not sharing it in a meaningful way, I'd encourage you to start working on your story because it's really, really powerful. So, a couple reasons why, I guess, a personal brand and the story that goes with it is a really powerful part of your strategy. Now, one part of it is it helps you build trust. It helps you open the doors, and vulnerability really opens the doors to your audience leaning in and saying, I feel like you see me. And I feel like I have also the permission to share mine. Okay. How many people have come to me and said, after I shared my story, they felt comfortable around me. I wasn't just this perfect, accomplished, successful woman. I was a woman with a story, with a scar, with battles that I fought, with challenges that I faced. And I'm here willing to share my story to tell you how the truth behind building a successful business. Because a lot of people still don't do that. They just pretend and just show the best parts, the mega highlights of their lives. But truly, we connect and resonate with people when we talk about our challenges and what we have had to overcome. And the next thing I'd say, your story creates clarity for your brand. Like, why do you exist and who do you help and why do you help them? And more importantly, when you're communicating these things with your audience, why does it matter? I couldn't tell you why it mattered to me to empower women or to help women see them on stages and support them in public speaking because I haven't really faced my truth. I haven't asked myself, why do I do that until my mentor did that? So when you have that messaging, it becomes clear as to why you do what you do. And when you're able to communicate that with a powerful message, it just cuts through any noise and any fluff that you could say, hey, it really is important for me to help women to have a voice. No, I know what it feels like not to have a voice, and now I want to empower others. So the shift is a real big difference. And I would say that your story brings the kind of people that you want to work with, your ideal clients, your soul line clients, however you want to call it. But it brings the people that resonate with you, right? And perhaps could repel the people that not aligned to your mission, to your purpose, to your why, and just helps you create really magnetic and powerful brand. So if you lead with your story and really share it from your heart, I believe that people will start to see you, resonate with you, and be inclined to be part of your journey, to follow you, to support you, and eventually become your clients or buyers. Okay. So, how do we actually build a business that is part of your story, that is based on your purpose and values and why you do what you do? So, I want to give you a couple of tangible steps that you can walk away and see, where can I start? Where do I begin? So, first of all, it's really trying to figure out your origin story and what led you to do what you do today. What brought you to this point that made it all meaningful for you to do what you do? So, maybe you have overcome a challenge, you have had to overcome some life difficulties, maybe you nearly failed at something, maybe it was health issues that now led you on a path. Because you've been able to help yourself, now you're able to help others. So I want to ask you, what was that moment that shifted everything? Sometimes people want to say, hey, I had many stories, I've gone through a lot of things in my life. And well, likewise, I've gone through many different challenges, but there was something profound and meaningful that I've had to overcome that's related to what I do today. So, what's that origin story to my business and my story? The second part is finding the message in your mess, right? You want to find the gem of the message within it, all right? What was the lesson? In the turning point of that whole mess, yes, we go through difficult times, but what is the message? What is the learning point of that moment for you that your audience can walk away with? So, finding real gold within your story is what matters when you want to use your story, but not only just to say, this is why I do what I do, help them find value within your story of how can they overcome something as well. Number three would be turning that story into a mission, right? So, why is this your why? Why is this your purpose? Why is it so meaningful? That how can we create a real aligned mission to what you do today? How does it actually connect to what you do today? How does it fuel you every day? What is your foundation because of your story? How does it connect to your bigger mission today, right? So it's so powerful for people to see where you have come from like personally, from someone who's not able to speak, who lost her identity, who wasn't sure who she was. I really strongly struggled to speak. I mean, I couldn't record a video like I am right now. I remember having a whole setup at home, and I was going to record some content for a course I was working on. And I tell you, I think I must have done maybe 15-second clips before I threw in a towel and I said, I can't do this. And it was really, really hard for me to start speaking. I thought maybe I need a vocal coach. I couldn't get the words out. I would kept stumbling on my words. I'd get twisted, I'd get really self-conscious. It was hard, not even speaking about like getting up on stage. That was a massive challenge. But going from there to where I am now, not only hosting events, being able to get up on any stage, hardly with any prep to deliver a keynote, coaching other people to speak. I mean, I've been an expert in public speaking for a few years now. It's like I've used the thing that I lost or the thing that was the hardest, I've turned that into my superpower. And that's a massive, like, that's the longest way that you can go from not having something and being the biggest challenge to now becoming my superpower. And when I weave it into my story and my mission, people can see how far I have come, and I can show people all the teachings within it. Like, what did it take for me to overcome myself and all of that, and to become really unapologetic? And this unapologetic is my final breakthrough moment of not having a voice to now being truly unapologetic within who I am, what my message is, and being able to empower other people with it. And this is the last point of it. How can you weave in your story and your mission into your offerings? Now, my offerings, such as the Unapologetic program, my story is part of that. Everything I have learned from losing my voice to gaining my voice again. And I call that unapologetic because for me, that was the biggest transformation. This was the end result from being someone who's not able to see myself or see who I am and not be able to use my voice and advocate for myself, to becoming truly empowered, unapologetic, and confident in who I am and what I can speak about. That was the biggest possible transformation ever that I want other people to have when they work with me, when they consume my content, when they come to my programs. And that's how it weaves into everything that I do, including other things like our summit. When people come on to speak on our summit and be involved in that journey, it's again, because I didn't have my voice, I want to see other people succeed with being speakers on stage. So I invest my time, energy, and money to help women get up on stages. So it's truly rooted in the transformation that I've lived through, that now I can bring to other people to help them transform through their own journey, and potentially journey that they take with me, and I help them do the same thing. So that's something that you can weave into what you do. So using your story, I believe, is part of your superpower, and it helps you stand out from the rest. It helps you become unique in your own right, and something that people cannot copy. Now, people have tried to copy my website, my brand, my content, my quotes, some of the programs, but they'll never be able to copy my purpose, my mission, my story, my messaging behind it, because they have never lived through that, and they won't be able to authentically say that has been my transformation. So the way I have designed my programs is unique to me because it's unique to my transformation, and therefore will connect to the people who share similar experiences to me. So I believe it's a real good strategic differentiation between you and other brands in how you can stand out pretty much effortlessly just by being yourself, just by owning who you are. And you don't need to compete because no one can really replicate who you are and your purpose and aligned mission that you have. So you can start really attracting opportunities based on your own unique mission and purpose. This has resonated. I want to invite you to share in the comments below. How do you feel about sharing your story with an audience? Just a quick reminder that I also have my 6 weeks sprint program right now, success sprint program that I'm offering. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, this is a great opportunity to snag this offer. Just reach out to me personally and let me know that you want to work with me privately, one-on-one. And very soon I'll be releasing my signature program called the Unapologetic, which is going to be part of my commitment to support women to get up on more stages, share their story, and also really become paid speakers in the industry. And I think we all as women deserve to be paid for our craft, for our messaging. And I believe that you have something magical to share in this world. Now, just to close it out, I want to let you know that you don't need to find some extraordinary story, like rags to riches story, but you need to find your authentic voice. And I believe you already have it. If you've never shared your story, it's magical. And I think it's so magical when I witness women who share their story for the first time, because it's like a birth moment. It's like such a special moment. And I believe that it also deserves a special stage for you to share your story. And I think that when we share something so personal, it deserves a really special stage and also a safe space for you to share that story to start with, at least. So really, it's about having that courage to say, yes, I am going to step into my superpower. I'm going to use the power of my story and create a strategy behind it as well. So let that be part of your business, part of your mission, and it's going to be so much stronger. Your voice will become so much stronger. Every single day will be filled by your mission and your purpose. And I believe that your audience will be able to get behind it much easier and actually share your story with the world as well. I believe that your story is a superpower. And I know when I found my voice as my superpower, it was the most magical thing that not only transformed me, but also continues to transform my audience as well. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll keep it short and sweet. We're going to come back in the next episode to talk a little bit more about your speaking skills and how you can turn that into money. So if you're wanting to use your story and public speaking to start turning into profit and revenue in your business, and make sure you tap into the next episode. But for now, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a comment, subscribe to it, share it with others. And we're going to be back for another amazing episode. Just a reminder, these are exclusive series where I'm doing solo podcast episodes, all things about business strategy, visibility, personal brand, public speaking. So make sure you tap in before we close out this season, and reach out if there is anything I can help you. If you feel inspired, motivated, if you need a bit of a pep talk and you're looking for a mentor to work with, make sure you reach out to me personally. The contact details will be in the show notes. Hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you on another episode. Take care for now. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Women Thrive podcast. If you found today's episode empowering and inspiring, be sure to subscribe and follow us. Better yet, leave a review and share it with others. We're committed to bringing you more stories that will empower and inspire you on your own journey. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep pursuing your dreams.